查你就求死了，这不就？
Right.
video crew, huh? All right. You guys doing a live stream?
ya con los morras por ahí del mundo, ¿no?
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
Ladies and gentlemen,
It's a wonderful
afternoon, and I'd just like to announce that the President of Palau, His Excellency Suran Wibs Jr. has joined us. So let's give him a round of applause for recognizing him. And then I thought maybe we just kind of get settled in, and in 5 minutes, I'll start the program. So please enjoy and meet one another before the program begins in about 5 minutes. And thank you all for joining us on this special day. Ali, Ali Malungil Talyal Sils, Umura Program Rigid. I'd like to declare the program open, and so I just want you to know, our guest here, that the program is being broadcasted live on our national TV and on Facebook and on YouTube. So some of the guests here, some of your friends and family in the US might see you while you're here. That's how small the world has become. So let us begin our project, our program today. My name is Alan Seed, and I'm going to be our MC today. And with the permission of our High Chief Reklai and our traditional leaders here, I will be mixing English and Palawan, so that our folks in the villages who will be listening or watching this program can also get a glimpse of what is being said and in Palawan, and I'll translate that from English as well. So it's a very special occasion for us to begin this program, and let me first recognize our High Chief Reklai, who's with us with the Dirawoods, and members of the Council of Chiefs that are with us today. May I ask that we give the Chief Reklai and the Rubgul Belao a round of applause for being with us today. I'm also very honored to recognize His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Palau, none other than Surround Whips Jr., who's with us this afternoon. Thank you, Mr. President. Just quickly, we have the Minister of State over here with us, and Minister Aitaro, and the Minister of Environment, and we have the Governor of Koror, and there's many distinguished guests with us today. But the most important guest of all are our guests from the DSSV. But before I introduce them or ask Nicole to come and help me introduce them, I would like to recognize two very special guests that are part of this voyage, none other than Cesario Sauleriur. Cesario, would you please stand up and be recognized? And of course, our very own former President, Mother Ngabur, who actually looks younger today because of the dive yesterday. Let's recognize our President and Chief Mother Ngabur. So we will begin our ceremony. A program rigide reklai molngi tragegrel ad el klela kulas ramlig mangme momskida adbus el koraul hotela asyuka rigid sel domu latagoy kada morngi adbus ra klol tokora blu. We'll begin our ceremony with a blowing of the horn that resembles the old ancient days, that when some special occasion like the one we're having now always begins with the blowing of the horn. Let's give the young man a round of applause for a job well done. Tawreng asulera kulas el malmlongil el malbus el altaim yakmolngitra Mr. Glenn Seed, Elder Glenn, to come and open our program with a word of prayer.
Good afternoon, everyone. And before we pray, I just want to read a verse from the Bible. It's found in Luke 8:22 to 25. And it says, "Now it happened on a certain day that he got into a boat with his disciples, and he said to them, 'Let us cross over to the other side of the lake.' And they launched out. But as they sailed, he fell asleep. And a windstorm came. It came down on the lake, and they were and the waves were filling the boat. They were in trouble. And they came to him and awoke him, saying, Master, Master, we are perishing. Then he arose, and he rebuked the wind and the raging of the water, and they ceased, and there was a great calm. But he said to them, Where is your faith? And they were afraid and marveled, saying to one another, Who is this? Who can this be? For he can command even the winds and the water, and they obey him. And that's Jesus. And that's the story when he controlled the winds and the waves. And I believe he's been doing it with the project. So with that, let's bow our heads. Our Father in heaven, we thank you. We thank you because we are here to celebrate the success of this mission. We believe that it is because of you that it's successful, and we are here. Father, we ask that you bless this ceremony, bless everyone who's here today, and bless the organizations that put together the program, Micronesian Voyaging Society, and PICRC, and DSSV. We thank you for being with them while they're out there in the water. You were in that boat, just as you were with your disciples in the Sea of Galilee. And even when they went down to the depth of the ocean, you were there with them. So thank you, and please be with us throughout the ceremony. And we just want to recognize your presence. We ask for your Holy Spirit and your angels to join this ceremony. We praise you and we honor you and worship you from here. And we pray in the name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Daurenga sulela, Mr. Seed. For those of you who do not know Glenn Seed, he happens to be the younger brother of the MC today. We thank him for his prayer. Daurenga sulera nglu ele madang nabut. Era the borsel next programmer gid de bogulngitra Nicole Yamase. Kora malungil madan tirgal gester gid maldil kora o aiser gid el bekla adal wasit tirgata malul wataang. Mandaka that with unclear madru ulir. Nicole, I've introduced you. Most Palauans know who you are, but you know our guests better than me, so we're going to ask you to come and be correct in introducing each and every one of them.
Yang Tiro, it is my honor and privilege to introduce the DSSV pressure drop crew who are here seated on my left. So we have Victor Vescovo, the owner of the DSSV pressure drop vessel and the owner of the limiting factor submersible. And then we have, we have Rob McCallum, expedition leader. We have Nick, videographer and photographer. He's responsible for all the amazing videos that go out. And then Dr. Don Wright, first African American to the Challenger Deep. And Chris Harding, scientist on board. Thank you.
And yourself.
And I am Nicole Yamase, first Pacific Islander to the Challenger Deep. Thank you.
Hey, thank you. So, Victor, if I could just call you Victor. When Palauans are thrilled with very special guests, we often welcome them as they come from the sea, not with women's dances, but with men's war dance. just to let them know they're welcome, but don't take our women away from us. I'm joking, but it's a great honor and privilege to welcome the boys of one of the villages here in Koror, Ngermid, to welcome you in the Palauan spirit through a men's dance. And this dance is especially for those who dove today, the last few days. And so, dolngitra bigel belur Ngermid, melmel beskid aruk, tergagi dia ges tergi dem komo blo bertiang de sang ligiu. Malm sular buik abo ung. Dobrenga sulira buigra ngarmit sola climb lang ya single giltmoklar adara Micronesian Voyaging Society el mortirgalo ulit di adar may Eliayob kora mal swal modo olisel sengedra kluglen lo mesertir tamal buigra belwar ngarmit direct buigra belwar ngar may malaka bolo sengeng ta arbsul dobrenga sulilay adar may. Well, we hope you like to dance, Victor, and the boys are very happy to dance for you. Our program is at the time when we call upon our ranking high chief, Reklai. He's our leader and our spiritual leader and our traditional leader and our inspiration. And it's a great honor to call him to come and represent the Republic of Palau as well as the Micronesian Voyaging Society and the traditional leaders of Palau to welcome you in the words of the High Chief Reklai. Ebe klubak mutangal me ebo modar sa susergit el mor tirgal okyagargit. Dadap sa prot Reklai. And by the way, our chief is a retired Marine who served in the Vietnam. So we have a lot of respect for him.
So long. Balugil odo song. Kita ngartial mga batar tirgal sa lid. Diag dong batar kita radar belau. Padi mungil busul president. Eso akal dimot bul data akal girel tirgal okya gergit. Dia akal mergitar radar belau. Mr. Vescovo, you know, when we have foreigners come to Palau, we meet them at the shore and welcome them. First, we have to find out what they come to Palau for. Do they need help? Can we assist them? Do they bring a good news? Or some other reasons? While your trip to Palau, the SSP, the pressure dropped. You come to Palau for a reason, to want to explore what we have in the ocean. You try to explore something that we can use to be the benefit to the humanity. I think that's your purpose. All the Palauans claim they are good fishermen. But when we reached yesterday, none of us ever got to that area. Why? We don't have a traditional matter. It's lack of scientific study, lack of knowledge. We didn't have ability to do that. What our Vice President, former President of yesterday, only 28 miles from our coast. And we didn't know we had a trench in the bottom of that ocean. And now we do. What we are looking for, based on your study, or scientific study, and let us know how can we utilize our ocean for the people. And the Republic of Palau really appreciate your work, your project. What you see here today is not only a few people to welcome you to Palau. What you see today, we have Ceremonial whips, the President of Republic of Palau, with us today. You see all the traditional chiefs here today, with all the members of his cabinet with us today. Our National Congress are here today, both houses, the senators, and the congressmen, the House of Delegates. The Association of Governors of Republic of Palau are here with us today. We have members of various organizations who are interested about water, who are with us today. So I would say the entire Palau, leadership of Palau, and people of Palau are here together to welcome you. And we wish that your project, what you are looking for, will be successful, not only for the Palau, but for the humanity. Everybody appreciate that. So again, welcome to Palau. And anybody speaks Spanish? All of you guys, Migasa, Sugasa. Thank you so much.
Daurenga sulela bek lubagar klay aktimo kode baigel loidela toy muktegra aldala arkladim lo ay sergidar adar belal wase tiamal tugu betsel sil sergid el mamadar tirgal salid diul aisra tirgal salid el waseng wal belaw akldib logi war bugul belaw ma president ma ministers ma adar belaw rogul lo mesertial TV ma oreng sertial radio station el marar blul mlidiur el al time e mamadar tirgal malungil salid el mlame o tiah maltmol el basiora belwad ending goram lo ngalagal wase betor mama algogi adar omeden di dirga katam gi borse gi del maltmol ng adital madang rebugo dokunga sebedol urngil wase mal mlamorat mol Daurenga sulela clara malungil al. I basically translated in a summary the comment of the chief who said the whole of Palau is represented here to welcome you with a warm heart, and he said our home is your home in Spanish, and thank you. At this time, it's my great honor to call upon a very special friend, our leader in the Micronesian Voyaging Society. My friend is Mr. Shalom Etpison, and also one of the chiefs here as well. But just a bit of background, Micronesian Voyaging Society was founded some years ago, consisting of Mr. Etpisong, myself, working with Dr. Yano, Palau Community College, Miss Faustina Ruur, former Minister of State, and a few others. But we have just a bit of background, Cesario's father, the great navigator Mau Pialuk, was given a gift of a canoe called Alingano Maisu. And that gift was given to the great navigator Mau and sailed from Hawaii by Nainoa Thompson and the Hukulea group from Hawaii to sail it to his home island to pay tribute to him for the work he did to help them regain the knowledge of voyaging. And then that canoe was brought to Palau, and the father of Cesario said, I would like this canoe to be gifted to the Palauan people who will help to maintain this tradition from being lost, and also gave us his son, Cesario, to teach. So for nearly a decade now, we have been taking care of the canoe, and we have been taking care of Cesario, working closely with the Palau Community College, with the former president, Madangabu Tami, who's also a member of the board. And we have been able to train many young people from within Palau and Micronesia, and they've been able to sail here from Palau all the way to Yap, to Saipan, to Guam. Now we're thinking about a voyage that will take us all the way to Japan, and also we plan to sail the Alingano Maisu from Palau all the way to Honolulu to attend the Festivic Festival of Art. So if any one of you want to come and be a volunteer on the crew, just give me a call. I'll arrange for it. I have some pool. Okay. But anyway, today's occasion is a resemblance of science and technology and tradition and ancient practices being combined together. And so with that, I'm really honored to call upon Mr. Edpison, our president, to come and offer a few remarks. Medo Kera Saligra Welsias.
Ali malungili tasil sen marbe klad ibo ko siya susana kal mora ay bedul marklay marbe klubul beral martiang tirekal mora president marbe klad olbil ma government reklay medibo ko lingitek tili alda dakal tokora mga barda bol smith tirekal okya kargidel momento tokol kulkoy. Well, good evening everyone, and thanks for coming to this evening's reception celebrating the successful deep dives of former President Tamir Mangsao Jr. in the Palau Trench and Master Navigator Cesario Suralur in the Yap Trench. On behalf of the Micronesian Voyaging Society, I would like to offer a warm welcome to Victor Vescovo and the supporting teams for the SSV pressure drop and the submersible limiting factor, and thank them for making this happen and for bringing these two MVS members back to us safely. We started the Micronesian Voyaging Society to preserve our traditional knowledge of canoes, star navigation, and ocean around us. Our forefathers, who were traditional seafarers, explored and mapped the surface waters, and now with the submersible dive and bathymetric mapping, the third dimension, the depths of Palau and Yap, are coming to a clear focus. A few years ago, the owner of MV Alucia research vessel invited Dr. Yano and myself to try out their submersible here in Palau, and it was a unique experience for us. So I'm sure we will hear more this evening from Mother Ngabugud and Cesario about their once-in-a-lifetime journey to the bottom of Palau Trench and Yap Trench. This first visit to the bottom of Palau and Yap Trench, some 8,000 meters deep, is a signature accomplishment. These explorers had added a new dimension to the knowledge of Palau and Yap waters and environment. Hopefully this accomplishment will serve to encourage our young Palauans and Yapis to explore and map, building on a knowledge that efforts like those of Victor Vescovo in the submersible limiting factors bring to all of us. Enjoy the evening. I must say, we are eager to hear what you saw and what you found in the depths of Palau and Yap. Thanks.
Malmeringa Sulela, President Micronesian Voyaging Society, Mr. Espitsong Raigel Kamentengil, welcome Tirgal Salid. The Aisel Kamiar Maas Marubak Lorenz program direct lo Malela Gel Tingela Eklubak, el Mangadar Tirgal Salid Rak Malungil Toil Blalgat Makli, el Mo Sabed el Mumdangli, Al Sela Berteklela Belau, el Molmutra Blul Up Maigal Maltmol الباسيول والبولوليسي ايجل دي ملاديك سيدرا يرار اللوسب ايدل ومقال راد المولى ايجال البلوادرا غرامون يقوك مومسا بس التقويل دو سوبر التايم ميرينغا سولير تريغال هذا المليم هذا ميرينغا سولير رحمال مليويل الدال الاي مالت مارنوك at this time I also just summarized the speech of Mr. Edpison, but at this time it's a great honor for me to call upon His Excellency the President of the Republic of Palau, Sulang Reeves Jr., to come and offer his remarks on behalf of the people of Palau. Mr. President, may I call upon you to the podium. The Psaprot, President.
Wilgap singay qatlu le susriyad المرا يبدول ما ركلاي ما بقول بلاو سولان السياسة راي قال سل والقمر قاو طريق المالويل سingay MC ما ربك الأضل قبل من تلقارتيان هذا من سولان أدر أولبي ما أدر governors ما طريق المينستيرز من نفس الجونرية ما ربك الأضل قارتيان ركلاي اختيك موسى سل تقول بلا كذا قلت له قرقا ما ملقط تقول أمريكا لتقال أوكي كذا تقول أدر أمريكا دي سؤال رئيس واسه تيال دريغم لوريل الواسه exploration ngogi mereka karu rada por abuil di kita ada bela di melamda lekad mor abuil tirge oi kama muluk adar ngurusar di melamda lagi mau di ere oi di akmani luaseng uktia madar ngabu dong adeka agora adar girela ukmlom albakal murat mol alwaigel story di kita ngurusar oi di kadamral amat tertir mereka sulir sel nakakase tukaigel tukol koramo koramo madak trim por munsew karmud el morir tukoy madar ngabu di gal al amal sa al adaleng kokongel master sel claro el kurang seng tru il sigang dangara al sel tial gegarel del marabel dim gegare madorngi akora dim lat kwase kada angar sero ase tiang asen lemut el morab abe bula da bandia akora dim lat kara sel dol lo sa dorngi akora dim nani at legal google ringi mga sen di tru im ewal rois rablulat ay ngalak la klam ngater 8,000 meters sel lablorngi mang reklay akora di ase ela ngarul mud ala atarigel tru im eim logot mo tonga ka rois rablula aveleng nguli mo sel be bulang ngarul mud mor sel palau trenchal sea klam ngatel mang kadamral di oy ngartire mrenga sulela Victor mati merim nos ilwa amada ngabud ma Cesario lmutin mera blum sedel el kloar mud ro set to bangget. First of all, Victor and team from the DSSV pressure drop, thank you for bringing our chief, our former president, back, and Cesario. We, I was talking to the media crew earlier, and they were sharing a little bit about the trip down under, and it was a 10-hour ordeal. And I said, just, you think about it, when you're on top of a ski cliff or on top of a mountain, you get all those, it makes you nervous. And I just wonder, getting in that small, tight space and going down there to the bottom of the ocean, you probably think, am I going to make it back to the surface or not? Right? But it takes guts. It takes explorers like yourself and like Madang Abud and Cesario to take that risk so that we, up here on the surface, can learn more about our ocean and appreciate more about our ocean. I was just at the Our Ocean conference in Lisbon, and as part of the ocean panel, which President Ramasau and the Prime Minister of Norway started, one of the foundations of that is to promote 100% management of the oceans and at least 30% preservation or no-take zones. And at the conference, they announced that 110 countries have joined that commitment. And we applaud them for that. So the other thing that we did at the Oceans Conference was launch a new initiative. And Palau in 2015, when we passed the Marine Sanctuary Act, committed that our oceans down deep will not be touched, right? And we know that they store treasures, but they also store carbon. And we don't want to destroy them or touch them because what happens? We release carbon, which is why our islands are sinking. So I hope that part of this exploration shows how important those ecosystems are and how important they are to protect. I understand that you found something down there, and it was a beer bottle. We also need to remind our people that our ocean is not the trash bin of the world. We need to protect it, and we should keep trash, dispose it properly, and not let it go into our beautiful ocean. So I really applaud what you're doing and helping us understand our oceans and how important they are, so that we can share that knowledge with our children. And my only regret is I have to run to another meeting in Ngartmao, so I may not be here for the whole ceremony and listen to all the great stories, but I know it's going to be on YouTube, so I can access it by YouTube, which is great. And I'm looking forward to seeing those wonderful pictures and the amazing work that you continue to do in exploring our deep oceans and helping the world understand how important it is to protect and to save it for generations to come. So thank you for being here. Thank you for the expedition, and continue the great work that you're doing to not only help the people of Palau, but to help the world. So thank you. Madre Abud, mal mong ilan udal masakaw ng Cesario lo kasi komlilut tilmay. Nada malos perwim sula.
Daurenga sulela president ra malungil al gora malo maksamaryara nandir tirgal okyakargid engegid lulu aisergid waseng arnya tara town hall meeting el bolorurgi mendingi lo basel lungil temel gadmo melmasum ergi di man masaul ra temel ma wil al metial sil sergid malt marnguge president ra el momokodongi ingel adal ngia ungara artelurior el mek mu da aleng gagidia lakni and dim laktial lurior. I would like now, it's with great honor to call upon the very gentleman without whose vision we would not be here today. So it is my privilege and honor to call upon Mr. Victor Vescovo, the founder of Kaladan Oceanic, to come and share a few words to inspire our hearts. Victor, may I have the honor?
Thank you all very much. It's such an honor to be here. And I have to say that on our expeditions over the last 4 years, I think we have visited over 20 different countries. And Palau in particular has been the most welcoming, the most interested of any country we have yet visited, including my own. So thank you very much for the hospitality. And I will say I come from a pretty tough state in the United States, Texas. And after seeing the war dance that was just done, if I'd come here with some people from Texas in a ship, we probably would have said, we're going somewhere else. So thank you very much. But one key point I'd like to make, and one reason that we do what we do in terms of ocean exploration, is that it's an off-cited statistic, but often forgotten. 70% of planet Earth is ocean. Only 30% is land. Of that 70% that is ocean, 80% of it is completely unexplored. Therefore, more than half of planet Earth is still completely unexplored. We go to space, which is great, and we explore there, but we still have enormous things to learn from the deep ocean. And that's why we started this project 5-6 years ago to develop technology that would allow human beings to go to any point on the seafloor at any time reliably and safely. Before we dove Challenger Deep in 2019, only 3 people had ever been to the bottom of Challenger Deep. Now more than 25 have, including the first Micronesian, Nicole Yamase. And then we've also taken it to the other deep, completely unexplored places on this planet. And I was privileged to have former President Tommy Raymond go to the bottom of the Palau Trench, and Master Navigator Cesario go down to the bottom of the Yap Trench. And it wasn't just important that someone from the local community went there on the first dive to those trenches. It was essential, because the communities around these trenches, that is part of your heritage. Where is the steepest mountain slope in the nation of Palau? We just saw it 2 days ago in the Palau Trench, over 400 meters high. In the Yap Trench, we saw a 1,000 meter high, almost vertical wall. Had never been seen or explored before. What do we hope to get out of all this? Knowledge. That's why we explore. You want to go to the places that we've never been before and hopefully find something new. Today, I was very privileged where Cesario took me with his family and others to some of the great sightseeing places here in Palau. I'd never seen them before. The Jellyfish Pond, the Milky Way, the cemetery, even Shark City, which is great. But what really struck me, in some respects even more than the sights that we saw, was seeing Cesario and his family, from a grandfather to his grandson and granddaughters, interact with the ocean. Palau is not the largest country in the world, and yet you can see, an American like myself, the deep connection that you have with the ocean, and your culture is imbued with the ocean. So therefore, as I'm sure you did in Portugal, Mr. President, the leadership that Palau, the Federated States of Micronesia, all the island countries of this world, what they can really contribute to us landlubbers in these countries of concrete jungles is a deep appreciation for the oceans, and have leadership to help us protect it and understand it. And that's what Cesario and Tommy did in the last several days, is show leadership, willing to step into an ultra deep diving submersible to explore and not leaving it to others. So thank you very much for your bravery and interest in accompanying me down to the bottom of your trenches. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Victor, for your very inspiring words. I'll just summarize them in a few words in Palauan for the elderly audience who do not speak English. Garubakal ultia luriora ulu ay sergidar adar belal waseng malbatol bulual blal borngi swal dio ay sergidar adar belal klail waseng abela wataraigel belul wal kot lungil semeriar girela urerir mengmal mearngur tele la kabelmenter belau ma mengeteklel belau mal oyenger tia lurior direct lulu ais luase aigel luriol lulmu la presidente mengsaur al presidente maigel luriol lolmol ma presidente gida Suran Whips Junior Rasel Oceans Conference awalol ovelol ultra tutlela adaba oguidel basentra blul ad engarngi akmed logim el basenter ngil dirga desang etial lol albakra blul ap ma belau etemlom tiga mal maklo rois ra sela abertak lel mal longasireng mandi merenga sulede o reng wasega gidel lo luror ma osis akra da lo sub amosabel ngosubir belau ma Micronesian el mosabel ol obaigel tutelela ulengire del mangarom rad bedra ablul other rokir. I think I did okay translating your speech. If you guys agree with what I did, can you give me a round of applause? What yung mulomeu da ngirturong memdi the recognized ngilmo sa el metallurgy de tirga el rasiabal direct mal magdidar wa mount fuzirtir tamdinge direct mol de orenga sulela ngirturong la mebenget direct swakal recognize ra tirgel adra koro state ngar sel kora lewek ngegida olegara speaker takotungela sengkal senators ngabaw mar mang South Junior ngap tedi op tri tirgal other oror tel amal tigan rir other oror mal masaula legislators ra mal leadership ra koro state lo mangeder al kumsengay el pokul gitra ngel scientist ngel hakase el lomgel tial omrael mal direct el beldu cc al takaduk mosbu ba baby ratgora rolela gel research el blalorul Dr. Don Wright, it is really my great honor to call you to come and say a few words. Would you kindly do so? Okay. Ngariya amlarang along el plater niya 872 el malnget ramlal gilel 1872 a license plate from along state al suman sab ele bo mu bringing malnget ramlal gilel marail. Please. Okay. So go ahead.
Thank you so much. Distinguished guests of the Micronesian Voyaging Society and the Republic of Palau, it is one of the great honors of my life to be here with you this evening. So thank you so very much. I want to give you a little different perspective, a perspective of my people, the peoples of West Africa, millions of whom were taken away on slave ships to what is now the United States. These people have also lived in and explored and met the challenges, but of another ocean, of the Atlantic Ocean and of the Caribbean Sea. But I was raised in Hawaii, and my work as a college professor and a mapper of the deep ocean has always been here in our own Pacific, especially the Western Pacific. So it's wonderful to be home in that sense, and an even greater honor to reach the bottom of the world, really the bottom of your world, Challenger Deep, and as the first person of African heritage. So thanks to Victor and his team, that happened for me on July the 12th. And I want to extend great thanks to Victor and his fantastic Caladan Oceanic team, to Rob McCallum and the EOS expedition team, and certainly to Triton submarines, because what we were in was completely safe, thanks in part to them, thanks mostly to them. I want to also give thanks to my new friends. They are your treasures, Nicole Yamase and Tamara Greenstone Alafayo, for giving me so much encouragement. And Nicole led the way for me, as well as for Cesario and for President Remengesau. They brought so much joy at sea, and that is very important. So again, I give my great thanks to my new friends. And it's a further joy to be introduced for the first time to your beautiful republic, to your beautiful islands, and to the FSM. So to my fellow deep divers, again to Cesario, the great Cesario, what you did for us today, what you shared with us around the islands, I will never ever forget it. And as Victor has said, to meet your beautiful family and to share all of these treasures, as well as to see your courage in diving to the Yap Trench. And to President Remengesau, you have been a personal hero of mine for many, many years. But it was an extra special honor and pleasure to see you dive to the bottom of your own Palau Trench. So thank you again. I now work for one of the largest mapping companies in the world, which is called Esri. We are in California. And one of the things that we have worked on very hard recently is a new map projection. And this is a map that shows all of the world's oceans as one connected ocean. It's one ocean that's linked together, depending on each part, nourishing each part. And we believe, and the UN agrees with us, that this map and this perspective is what our world needs now more than ever. And when using this new map, it makes even more impressive the great voyages of the Micronesian Voyaging Society, of the Polynesian Voyaging Society, of Victor's 5 Deeps expeditions and other expeditions. These are all linked. We are all linked as explorers of our one ocean and as healers of our ocean and of our people. So thank you all of you here, for making these important types of linkages happen, and for welcoming me and my seagoing friends to your ohana, to your family, with this very beautiful event. Thank you again.
Daurenga sulela Dr. Wright ndi lu aisra timbo ko tbangi madang rebu da sel al ga overall hakase tara o aisrgi dar adar belal waseng gotel ngadu alu bentirgel ko raul elra afrikal mo al baql morat mol malt marngul segidel wal gotel te al mlorngi malt marngul guk mla mo bentirgal bebi gidar wa Nicole Yamase al baql malungi larngul mlo kaudngi ma madang rebu ma Cesario malt marngul ti al والكورق مال مجرال دل بالتيجر رينغرا بالوادر بيلال مورتير ماتيال أمرولير المي دينغو أيسل واسين غانيا قنبالي لو ريو رنغي امرورا ماب را أبرتقليل بلول أدر روغير والبول بلغتاق الواسي أيقال الأتلانتيك أوشين ما باسيفيك أوشين ولي قاسب أقل غاقت كاق را وغيل هيلث را أوشين سمرينغا سوليد الواسي kada mo menggarngel awngil health raigal el dabel raigal blue ra blue at mangdim le segi de kora ulu aisel waseng ngulu ra hawaii magatek tel time mal kloa abel tigering ngil mera pacific. I summarize your speech, Dr. Wright, and everyone are inspired to hear about your story and your love of the ocean. Thank you so much. El altime presidente bogulngitra ngalget المغد أدو مالت مارنود Dr. Nicole Yamase. I'm introducing you in Palawan, and I said you are a child of Palau, child of Micronesia. So it is my great honor to present Nicole, who is the first Micronesian to dive into the deep trench of the Marianas Trench, and I would say she's probably one of the few women that have gone to the very depth of the ocean of planet Earth. And it's my honor for us to welcome her to say a few words. Nicole, we're all very excited to hear from you.
Thank you. Yang Tiro. Before I begin, I'd like to acknowledge President Whips Jr., former President Remengesau Jr., High Chief Reklai, and all distinguished guests. Then I'd like to express my deepest gratitude to the Micronesian Voyaging Society and the Palau International Coral Reef Center for hosting this beautiful event. It's been 26 years since I've been back in Palau, so to be welcomed back with open arms is just as I remember it. Last year, I went down to the Challenger Deep, but this year I had the honor to come back on board the DSSV pressure drop to support and witness not one, not two, but 3 historical dives. Dr. Dawn Wright, first African American to the Challenger Deep and 5th woman. Master Navigator Cesario, one of the first human beings to Yap Trench. Former President Remengesau Jr., one of the first human beings to Palau Trench. 10 days on board the DSSV pressure drop means a lot of time to reflect. I realized each of these individuals represented a part of who I am, what I stand for, and what I value. Dr. Dawn Wright, a woman in STEM and a major role model for minority students. Master Navigator Cesario, an educator who continues to carry on Papa Mau's knowledge and legacy through his teaching at the Palau Community College. former President Remengesau Jr., ocean champion and global leader in conservation. I hope that our youth will see that these individuals are proof that there is nothing too big for us to accomplish. And of course, this would not have been possible with Victor Vescovo, Rob McCallum, and the whole DSSV Pressure Drop family. So, Sulang, Kalangan, and Kirisot Sapur.
Nicole, your speech is the most difficult one for me to translate because I can't really share the same emotion, but I'll do my best. Kami armas loreng sangka ngalgedal loror belau ngalgela Dennis Yamasel le adrala ra belau direct maldim lomregal Chief Justice ra blura Micronesia. Mlara school mlamo scientist tartirgel koterdil mlamo tulbak mora bertakla ending mal matra abluade malo dansra presidente gid ma madrabu ma Cesario raigal losis akl el wallo ay sergid wasing diaka gegrel tgoil diaka klol tgoil diaka sabed el rulli abodadagel ngara rngudel ngara kultareng en sabed el gut maklia klol tgoil mo sabed adra gal yunsel gut mokla malungilar ngulum lamo luim elol merakaral tobder belau gora mal gadungura at muil malungilar ngul ma let's give Dr. Nicole Yamase one more round of applause for her very inspiring speech. 27 years ago in May, I was a young man here in Palau, and I asked the late High Chief Ibadul if I could join the journey of the Yapese chiefs and Yapese people to sail a canoe from Yap to Palau. So that event happened, and I was able to sail with Mao and together with Cesario. And I have to tell you, that event changed my life, because when you're out in the open sea for 5-6 days and looking at the stars, and you wonder how does Mao know that little tiny dot of Palau is there, and he brings you home, it stays with you. And that's when I first met Cesario. And I must tell you, Mr. President, I made a big mistake. You know, I'm from Koror, and Rule in Yap is our sister state. Kaspar is the sister state of Malkeok, and we have all these traditions that have existed for hundreds and maybe even 1,000 years. And so when the people of Yap come to mine their stone money, if they're from Kaspar, they go to Ruklai and they take care of them. And if they are from Rule, they come to Koror, and the people of Koror take care of them. But being young and naive, I didn't know much, so I took Cesario and all the boys from that were going on the voyaging canoe to a store, because I saw their thews, Nicole, were all very old and very stained. They were all wearing this colorful blue thew. So I was calculating how much money was in my pocket, and I said, I think I have enough to buy the new cloth, right? So we went to the store, and we cut all the material to be the size for a thew, and they made me a thew. And I was going on to the voyage on a time like this time of the day, and I was about to get on the canoe, and the chief of Yap at the time, Wepong, he came and started yelling at the people and yelling with a very strong voice, and it had something to do with me, and I was a little bit scared. What have I done wrong? And he said to them, this gentleman, Alan Seed, is from Koror. When he's in Yap, he wears the thew of Rule, not the thew of the outer islands like Satawal and Uliti. And they went home, and they came back with a very different color thew, and tied me up with the hibiscus, and therefore I became the child of Rule. And so I must tell you, all the way from Yap to Palau, I wore that thew with pride, and I made it here. And I'm sorry it's becoming too personalized of a story, but during the voyage, my wife Sophie gave birth to my son Junior here. He's 27 years old. And that's the beginning of my relationship with Cesario. And before his father passed away, he came and said to Chief Reclai, to Mr. Edpison, myself, Cesario is part of your family, and he will be your brother for the rest of his life. And so the High Chief High Chief Reclai named his son after his grandfather. And then we're really pleased as a Micronesian Voyaging Society to have the canoe named Alingano Maisu. And the meaning of the canoe is share the fruits of the breadfruit that fall to the ground. So the knowledge of the Pacific Islanders, the knowledge of Micronesians about voyaging is being shared by Cesario as the breadfruit that we can share the fruits to the future generations. So with that introduction, Mr. President, Madrebu, may I ask Cesario to come and say a few words. Mr. Cesario, please.
Good evening. Thank you, Alan Seed. I would like to begin with to pay my respect with this ground that we all sit and stand on. This is the ground that it's from our ancestors, that they brought all this knowledge for us to continue our cooperation, to work with each other as one. I must say that we are connected as one people, as a Pacific Islander, because the canoe is the message that brings us together from island to island. As you sail the canoe, you are travel to another place to bring the message to another place, as we have done on TSSV pressure drop, to deliver a message to us as a whole, Micronesian and Pacific Islanders. We dove with a great man, Victor Vescovo, and a great leader, of course, my brother Rob, make this possible for us to go under the water as deep as 7 miles, that none of us Micronesian Pacific Islanders ever explored before. But our ancestors have been crossed this ocean so many times, back and forth, delivering a message to let our fellow Micronesians and Pacific Islanders know what need to be done with our islands and with our people. So for that, I thank TSSV pressure drop, for bringing this opportunity for us to go down deep in the bottom of the ocean to explore. And I would like myself to continue on to see what we need to bring for our new generations to continue to protect what it's ours, because nobody is coming to protect it for us. For that, I would like to thank you, TCCV pressure drop. Second, I would like to thank Mr. President, His Excellency Surang Whip Jr. My respect for you is always be there for as a Micronesian Islander, and President of the Micronesian Voyaging Society, and the members who have brought me to Palau to continue the legacy of my father, who has been the one that brings the knowledge of navigation to the whole Pacific Islanders, and now it's a big program in our Pacific Ocean. more appreciation to PICRC that to support one of our only research institution here in Micronesia, that they've been doing a lot of things to let us know what's going on with our ocean, let us know what is down below and what needs for us to protect. So for that, I thank Micronesian Voyaging Society and PICRC for supporting this dive deep for me and Tommy and myself to go down to the bottom. Actually, I was kind of worried that they're not going to accept me to go for the deep dive, but I was so excited to go for that. But our first meeting for the Micronesian Voyaging Society, they were telling me the risk and all those things, but I want to take the challenge. So I was never scared. I want us to think about it, that we have our generation to take the challenge, to go down, explore more for our ocean, so we can have a better understanding for our new generation. Thank you very much.
Dauring asulela Cesario mul maklol adalo ring sertial program kay gidel gerel adangel ngalgela mau pialuk el lolis aklay kay gidel tokora bakal maldi mireng asulir tirgay gidel alid umral waseng giredlo regda igal digset en led el lolis akrar mgegrey el adal sal merdil matmo matnge dabir ma blurir len dia kangod al adal meso akla belwat digidel tanga agiredel moso akla belwat. Cesario, thank you for a very nice speech, and we're glad you are home safe. And I just wanted to say to you, you look much younger than before you left. It's all that pressure in the bottom that helps you stay younger. Presidente Maltmer nguder el altaim ngora ara ulobong ra program ergid ndi kmetengel waseng taptokal mgerel sa almerdil radiakadil belau. Not only young people here in Palau but young people, men and women throughout the Micronesia, the Pacific Islands, have been inspired by our former president, Madangabuko Tamir Masao Jr. And it's really wonderful, and I thank Victor for your wisdom in selecting him to represent all of us to go to the depth of the Palau Trench. There's a lot of meaning to that with his steadfast vision about the environment, and also with him as a person of great courage and adventure. So I know his colleagues from the Council of Chiefs are very eager to hear from him about the experience today and what it means to him and to all of us. Mother Nabugud, di ako lingit tebem du aldadam, kamal sulang, dep saprot Mother Nabugud.
Malungil kami sa ngayon mara arbek laad. Let me again join the traditional leaders of Palau who are present this evening, along with our President Surangal Whips Jr. and all of us here, to extend really our special thanks and welcome to Victor Vescovo and the family and crew of the Pressure Drop. The humankind is best served when we understand the top of the ocean and the deepest part of the ocean, for they are one and the same. And I think if we understand better, then we can make better judgment, better decisions that can then help sustain the ocean that gives us life to begin with, not only for us, but for our children to come. And that is really the vital mission that we see with Pressure Drop and what Victor and his crew are trying to do. Mr. President, I'm also here this evening to thank you for also declaring the bottom sea of Palau's exclusive 200-mile economic zone as a no seabed mining territory. And I think that's an important thing since we saw what's down there. I know a lot of us are trying to say, so what did you see? But maybe the main message that I shared tonight is that we only saw a very small portion. And it just goes to show that we need to find out more. We need to learn better what we don't know and what we don't understand. Only then can we be a better caretaker of the ocean. And for many Palauans, not many, but all Palauans, the ocean is our father. It's something that we respect. It's part of our culture. It's part of our tradition. And so when we meet a fellow brother who is just as passionate and who just wants to make sure that the ocean is protected, we can certainly identify ourselves or identify you with us, Victor, that you're not just from the great state of Texas, but you're actually from Palau. And yes, the deep is the biggest and Texas is the second largest, but welcome to the family. So I just want to say that Victor and the crew has also kindly agreed to share all the camera footage, all the information that was mapped out in Palau with our Palau International Coral Reef Center so that they can put together and make a good summary report to all of Palau on what it is that we have out there. It's very close to Babaldao, only 29 miles, I believe, from the coastline. But there's just so much down there. It's a great big wall. It's the Palau Trench is wider than Yap, but certainly Yap is deeper in terms of it's what, about 8,000 some meters, but Palau is just a little over 8,000 meters. But being in a family like the ship really makes you closer. And I have to honestly say, I'm not like Cesario. I would have probably find a way to not to go and have Ephraim Ngiraite go down there because she was with me. But Nicole was there, Dr. Dawn was there, and Cesario was there. And together they really helped to instill the necessary confidence and brotherhood that I needed to go down there. So thanks to all of you, Nicole and everyone, and Cesario. Please help me to give them a big thank you for them. Tito muselebak may ma selbander. In consulting with Chief Reclay and the Council of Chiefs there, we have decided that tonight is not just a reception, but would be a special presentation of our appreciation to Mr. Victor Vescovo by giving him a symbol of what it is to be a Palawan warrior. This axe, this evacle, went down 8,200 feet into the Palau Trench. So it's been down there. I showed it to the Council of Chiefs, and they said the better benefactor of this would be someone who symbolizes our passion for the ocean, symbolizes our the innovation to construct, to carve something, to get the warrior spirit of exploring and discovery. And I think I would like to ask Chief Reclay on behalf of the Council of Chiefs to present to you this special axe from Palau to signify that you are a Palawan also. At the same time, the Chief Reclay asked me to tell you that along with the axe, he will bestow upon you a traditional title. So With the axe, we become known as Chief Madradilol, which means Mr. Deepness. Madradilol. Yeah, please.
Ebakla. It's carried by practically every man in Palau, wherever they go. That means the work is not done yet. So our work on ocean, it's not done yet. So we present you this Ebakla, along with a title. That title, as a chief, I have an authority to give you that title. Madradilol. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I have to say this is a very deep honor, but what former president did not mention. I'm sorry, please.
Mr. President, come Mr. Episom, Shalom, come and join the Chief Raklay in the picture.
Of course.
We'll have our President, Raklay.
No, I have to say, what former president didn't say was that he took this in the capsule when we went on the dive. I didn't know he did. So halfway down the dive, he pulls out of his satchel an axe in a very, very small submersible. It is the first and only time anyone has brought a weapon of war into my submersible, and it had to be a Palauan. So on that basis, I thank you all very much for this very deep honor, and to be given an axe by not just the head chief of Palau, but a former Marine as a Navy man is also a distinct honor. Thank you.
And yeah, I misspoke, so I've just been corrected. It's not 8,000 some feet. It's 8,000 some meters, which translate to about 26,000 feet. 345 to be exact. Okay, 26,345, a little over 8,000 meters. Okay, and also this national flag was brought down to 8,000 meters. We will also, on behalf of myself and Victor and the crew of the pressure drop, present it to the President of the Republic of Palau to show that, yes, it's been down there also.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
With that, ladies and gentlemen, let's give them a big hand again to Pressure Drop, who I know from here on are the family of Palau. Okay. All right. You will sign it.
Sharpie. We need a Sharpie. Yeah, we need a Sharpie.
Big thank you to Mr. Shalom at Pisong, the Micronesian Voyaging Society for sponsoring this. Thank you.
Well, gentlemen, ladies, that was pretty inspiring. Nicole, we are coming to the end of our program. We saved the Palauans have a saying, we saved the best for the last. But I couldn't agree with that today because everything was the best, right? So we have another best for the last. But before I call upon Dr. Minyang Kolbu, we're very proud of our Palau scientist heading our Palau International Coral Reef. They gave me the power as a master of ceremony, right? And so today as the master of ceremony, I'm going to call Rob to come up and just say hello, please.
Like you, I am a child of the Pacific. I am from further to the south. Tihe Modiota. Behold, the breath of life. Mihi ana ki te rangi. Mihi ana ke te papa. Greetings to you, Sky Father, and greetings to you, Earth Mother. E nā mate. Haere, haere, haere. Rātou ki a tātou, tātou ki a tātou. For those that have gone before us, we say farewell, farewell, farewell. Stay as you are, as we stay, as we are. E nā whānau, e nā rangatira, e nā tangaroa, mihi mai, mihi mai, mihi mai. To the family of Palau, to the chiefs that are here with us tonight, and to the ocean, our guide, we say greetings, greetings, greetings. E nā tangata, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. To everybody here tonight, I say greetings, greetings, greetings to you all. And I want to thank you for this wonderful gift that you have presented to us, to Victor. In my country, it would be called a toki potangata. We use it for the same purposes that you did. In the old days, it was used to carve a new venture, to make a new waka, a new canoe. But we see it as the symbol that you've given Victor, who is carving out a new way of exploring the ocean. This was Victor's last voyage as the owner of Pressure Drop. The vessel was going on to a career in science. But Victor is the one person in the world who could do what nobody else could do, what no other government could do, what no institute could do. He could decide to build this wonderful vehicle to allow us to explore the bottom half of our world's ocean. So, thank you for the gift. It's a little late because he was working really hard 4 years ago, but it's a good time because it wouldn't have worked on titanium, which is what our hull is made of. But it's a wonderful symbol of what Victor has given the world, and I hope this vehicle goes on to shape our knowledge of the oceans. Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you so much. Wera boko dong ya toktanga Dr. Kolbu, elme mungsimira program rigi de dik kwa de waisra bek la adoloreng sertial program malumes ringil waseng mlosab ela president, a former president, Mother Nabu, the Lodersi se lebakla, el monga gid el togobets el okyagar gid el walo magarab el tigreng ra o malas ra wil del wil el girelangan bata de club se ra klela de bela abelwad mablul ad ulu aisen gal ad mugora gil betek wase tial ebakla el bilertia Mother Nabu de ulo tungir tial gerel submarine el bakal mora 8,000 meters deep el wal lol sab el lo otin morngiru riul mang malungilar ngul metia rubul bela akora ulngitra Mother Nabu da se mul sangai gidel rubal Victor bolo magartia gidel del willer gid ongeru en direct lo sab ela president ra a republic gida tamir amina Sural Junior el mlongu sel banderang ra belau el direct el mlar seguid el mlai el mlotu el bakal mor el telail madrengel el meters ra del el tial angarak medelewa madrengel mile al sugum correct el mal mol seguid el banderang akuk mum der obisel gidrang rul mud lol hotel tegid el lo maklat kergidra angar ledel girela de bela belwad ma ngaram da club sei gigida gora sodel seguid el mlomrekel ski malt mer ngulom tera president ma tina ma Mother Nabu mar klai mar other voyaging society dibusa Dr. Yano ma Dr. Patrick Delay ma Cesario los edel lim ma Pick Creek ma Stafford Tir kadgut maklit al gerel ski el altime do renga sulela golbu ma Pick Creek Ekwate alam sambo lo dar sa sesera al adu el momusimra programmer gid. It's my great honor to call upon Dr. Kolbu, our very own Big Creek CEO, to come and say a few words to close our program this evening. Dr. Kolbu.
Sulange adalbay ngilgab singil mera arbekla av el alsil se kavangartiang el celebrate tial historic moment. Kada celebrate tial amazing achievement. E direct el Lauranga Sulela Victor ma tial crew til nosobril provider tial opportunity el mergit. Sera era Victoria al start el momal al bakra ay gayid el hotel mall el basura blul ab en mleptokar adel blad sender til morabuil rar adel mla mora baromer ocean so tianga diakal gegarel toil el Victoria ngartialo bunget emlamo o rulil mosab el mobtok ay gayid el exploration el mora deep water. So tonight, Victor and everybody who's part of your team, we are really here to celebrate this achievement, this great achievement, and this historic moment. Because it seems like before you came along, it was easier to go to the moon than to go to the bottom of the ocean. And so the work that you did and your sense of adventure and exploration that allow us to explore the deepest part of the world ocean. And adirekal Victoria malmasaw la rubul belaw la masa diala Victor matial ebakla yakmulgol wasengal self spirit ra Victor mserngura exploration amal dios isi ngimserendira tigel first el Micronesians. Tigel tilobdra Southeast Asia, tilobdra Lugilein, yo magal explore el mel meuritsra Belau, mel meuritsra Micronesia. So I think it's appropriate, Victor, to give you a title from Palau, because your spirit and your sense of exploration is the same spirit that our ancestors had when they left faraway places and to come to explore and to settle the Micronesian island. Direkal mal direkal mal excited is Palau International Coral Reef Center. El ngar alama al ngar el tial center gida was ngire del msubra the bed. Ngire del mom dengel was ngrang ngarngi magrang adong at mok ringi. Ya nklo to telel bodo subra above especially tiagi del deep ocean leng nklo to telel regulate atora temperature ma climate rablulat e direkal godomdas lo setya maltmol ending aringi cell connectivity ra shallow madip ma healthy shallow water adipendra healthy deep ocean lengaring ya nutrient igale eyo magal angaratmol direkal mera shallow water. So a few months ago, we were able to borrow a camera. I got a deep water camera, and we thought it was very deep. We dropped it to 4,000 feet. But in that water, we saw many species, and we think there are species there that are new to science, new to the world. And so we are really looking forward to looking at the footage from over 26,000 feet in the bottom of the Palau Trench. And it's expensive, it's hard to study the deep ocean, so we really welcome this opportunity to be able to have this and to have Victor, and their willingness to share and to provide the footage and to provide all the information that they collected for us to increase our knowledge of the deep ocean. And then finally, that's where for all of the people at home listening, and I think this has been said by Nicole and others, Medo Meser Tiang is an inspiration. Lo
الغرا او اي سرجيد الواسي نارني a people الوا Victor السب real dream الواسين oy bay betokar adal mlamora buy le kasaya mo amora barom ocean din sab el change that I can do something to change that. So sab edel all of us al sugum kada lo liar armud الواسي يجيدا صاد الموجود مكلين and then sab edel الموجود مكلين hindi kaya ko man masulang arbek laad masulang Voyaging Society for asking welcoming us to be their partner to us this event, and congratulations to Mother Ngabuk, the Cesario, Nicole, Madan, especially to Victor and the whole team for their amazing achievement, for their historic achievement. Omal masulang. Thank you.
Reklaying diaksal moliuda tingela Dr. Golbuleng malkladik mengkora huktilu sesel tokor belau kmu sesel tokor ang bard mendiaka belgulbo kuliuid ding maltmera nguder sel alwase aigel losis ak mangarte agidulu reor emrenga sulit trigal salid adirek mongo swira osis ak radabel belau ma sabaklela ed ma elmol leng atmol mame da ngaringia aulakal teletelela klangarngi Mother Ngabuk de kau mga korab ol de umwa alwase da adro umngedel terung ndi erek kongay kau yamral adro umnged nga ka di telgib lomwa ndi akora ungulakara Clar Elizabeth Mother Ngabuk del wase tial Palau Trench. I was joking to the Chief Raklay the other day while we were preparing for this ceremony, and I said to him, "Hi Chief, you know, I don't think you know this, but I want to tell you this." And he said, "What is it?" He said, Palau Trench is the deepest part of the whole Republic of Palau. And you can look to the south, to the southwest islands, you can look to the north, to the Kayang Reef, you can look to the west, to the Ngertmao, Koror, Peliliu and Angar, but you will not find any deeper part of Palau other than Palau Trench. So he agreed with that, and I said, "Did you know, High Chief, this Palau Trench is in the jurisdiction of Chief Raklay. You own the deepest part of the Republic of Palau." And we laughed at that, but you know, for those of us who go fishing and trolling, we know that if you go to the east side, you always catch a lot of fish. And we believe it's from the depth sea and all the nutrients that come up that bring food to the oceans, and that's why you see dolphins, you see whales, you see turtles, and you catch marlins and tuna. So I know that after this speech, many of the local Palauan fishermen are going to head east to the home of Raklay to fish at the trench. Before we close, Victor, your title is Madra di Lol. That's the name that you have been bestowed as a title. And if we can translate that, literally it says you are the chief or the eyes of the deep sea. And that's what it means. And our Chief Raklay and the Rubul Belao are really honored to call you Madra di Lol. May you take this name with you. May you take it to the world, and may the world know that you are the eyes, the chief of the deep ocean. And we thank you. Dilbort yang program rigi de bogulngitra Mother Ngabuk di wila bodong simre or president namongil oy ko mal sulara ngil tele de di pok smritial da agara MC e bogulngitra Glen Sidel me skidang lungu di swakal dio aise or kam ang gegida o legra delegate trablilio neis tia al obgudra a former senator, a former ambassador Caleb Otto tia al dura bulwadra blilio le makmo aiser ngil ko di msi itial segd. I'm going to tell a story in English, but it's a true story of a Palauan, a late senator and a late ambassador to the UN, a good friend, Dr. Caleb Otto. So 50 years ago, Victor and ladies and gentlemen, the Americans landed on the moon. I believe it was Apollo 11, Neil Armstrong. Is that right? Yeah. And Caleb came from college to Peleliu and had a friend from college visiting. And while the mother was cooking, she ran out of some salt and some sugar. So he turned to Caleb and said, Caleb, I would like you to go to the store and I would like to get you to get some salt and some soy sauce and sugar. And he turned around and said to his friend Mike, who was a fellow student at the Washington State University, and said, Mike, go to the store and get the soy sauce and get the sugar and the salt. And the mother scolded him, how can you send Mike to the store? You cannot do that. And he asked, Mom, why not? He's a friend and he can walk to the store and get the salt and soy sauce. You cannot send Americans to the store because they have just landed on the moon. They are great people. So I'd like to kind of part with that story and say, Mother Nabu, Cesario, you have brought all of us to land in the deep ocean of the Yap Trench and Palau Trench. We are proud and we are honored. And with that, may I call upon Mr. Seed to bless our food and to end our ceremony today with a prayer to bless your journey abroad and to thank you for being here and to thank the guidance of Almighty. Please, after the ceremony, let's enjoy some food together. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Seed, and let's bow our heads for prayer. This is our closing prayer. Our Father in heaven, when we began this ceremony, we called your name. And now we've come to an end, and we know that you were with us because it went well. And everything that was said was beautiful because you are here. We thank you for your presence to be with us. And as we come to an end, I continue to pray for the missions that we have. Victor and his crew, continue to bless them, continue to guide them and protect them while they're in the ocean. Also, Micronesian Voyaging Society, continue to help the leadership, and our Grandmaster Navigator Cesario and his crew, keep them safe in the ocean. Father, we also ask that you continue to bless Palau International Coral Reef Center, Dr. Golbu, to continue with the work. The work, Father, that the research that we just witnessed is important, as we are just discovering just a small portion of your mass creation, the universe, and just our small planet, the deep water. So we thank you for the project that you have brought to us, to the islands. Continue to bless our country, Palau, and the Pacific Islands, and bless our leaders as well. Bless everyone here and bless the food, and as we leave, let us take home Jesus with us. Thank you, and I praise your name, and I pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Victor, by tradition, our guest must open the dinner table first. So we would like to ask you to go grab a little food, and so the rest of our guests can follow. Would you please lead the line? And our young scientist next to you, Kolbu, what's his name? Chris, can you come up? Mr. Madanabu, the Kauma Reklay, Gaya Gegrel, Kotel Gegrel, scientist del Masube, Open Tirid, Baktimum Tergi, the Mutial, Lulgungal Mulo, Yarap Tulul, Hotel Abeltiger Gidel Morning. On behalf of the chiefs and the society, I would like to put this on your hair to welcome you as part of our family.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Dakalungyang ebodo msoile dogi ulirtir kange E tina mo ke dergit kaum tirgalo dat